You haven't seen this one before. This is completely fresh. So this will be quite fun to work on together. I was going to work on the reflections one and our fun picture of Pennsylvania. I just want to let it sit just for tonight, just to see the feelings build. But for now, we've got this one, which is going to be pretty fun to have a bit more of a play with. That's the plan anyway. So this one's a bit different from the other ones. And this is a project that I'm hopefully going to bring into fruition before Christmas is my plan. Before Christmas is my plan. It's called Through the Gums. But it's coming second right now in priority compared to Hong Kong and Pennsylvania. Choo choo, dun dun dun. Oh my God, my partner Shelby's just been playing my daughter Cooper the Happy Song, and it very easily gets stuck in your head, guys. It's a problem. It very easily gets stuck in your head. Hello, Sarah. I'm doing fantastic. Welcome on in. Sarah, today, completely through the imagination, painting some trees coming up, a little bit of soil, and then through the back there, I'm hoping to have some gums. That's the plan. Is your name Seb or Sebastian? It's Sebastian, but I go by Seb. Does that help? Ching ching submarine, doo doo helicopter. Okay, let's get a bit more of this in here. I'm not quite sure where this one's gonna go. I'm not quite sure where this one's gonna go. But we'll have fun with it while we play. That's the plan. First off, it's a bit cold and earthy for my liking. So I've got a lot of red and a bit more green, and we're gonna hype it up. We're gonna pick the whole thing up and bring some more energy into it with these more bold popping colors. So I'm looking forward to that. Choo choo helicopter. Do 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 do. Dun 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 dun. I'm gonna bring this over to here. This is really where this wants to be. We don't need the tape here though, that can go over here. Now move you around a little bit, guys. Please don't get too confused. Hold your ground, hold your ground. Put you right. There we go. Beautiful. Choo choo helicopter. Okay. Stacks of paint. Bing bing submarine. Do 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 do. It's a beautiful song. The artist name's Imogen. It's so catchy. Whenever you've got a kid in a bit of a mood, the Happy Song. What a tune. Hello, Jimmy. Welcome on in. This one's going to be called, like I was saying, Through the Gums. What an appropriate place to be painting it with the sound. The sound of, well, that was a fly. But the sound of the trees rustling in the wind. The sound of birds chirping. They're about to go to sleep here in New Zealand. It's about time to actually curl up into bed. It's going on 7 o'clock. With a bit of luck, the weather will hold out just long enough for us to add all the paint that we've got planned. Do I feel grounded? I do feel grounded. Thank you very much. Just gonna... There we go. Just twist that around like that. Chad, I missed your zinger, did I? Have a look. And DJ San, great question. Hello, Steve. Welcome on in. So we didn't win the TikTok Awards. We didn't win. We went along, had a great time, met some amazing people, but no victory. No victory. So, and that's okay, because like we talked about, just to be nominated, such a big deal. Such a big deal to be nominated. Because what that means is people at TikTok think what we do here and the time we spend together is pretty cool. And I like that. I'm a big fan. Chad, could you do me a favor? I think it filtered your zinger. Can you resend the zinger? I'd love to hear the Chad zinger. Can hear some birds up in the tree there. That's Tui. The worst thing about this time as well is the sandflies start coming out, which is a whole thing. Yeah, fair enough, fair enough. Fair enough. Agree with that completely, DJ. Plus, it was a great opportunity to take Shelby somewhere new. Because since we've had a child, we haven't really had the opportunity to go somewhere together and do something together, which is it's pretty magical to get that opportunity. So Pseudo had a work trip, Pseudo had a fun trip. Good to get the combination. Bing, bing, submarine, choo-choo helicopter. Man alive, that song's catchy. Got a stack of white here too, guys, an absolute army of it, which is going to make this quite fun. And awesome harmony of colours, I appreciate that. Awesome harmony of colours. I'm hoping to stay around this kind of colour palette, but I feel like we need a lot more red into it. It got a bit earthy and cold, and I didn't want the picture to be cold. I wanted the sun to feel like it was actually coming through the trees. So playing with that is going to be a key component here. There we are. Perfect. Just have a few little marks in here. Limeish green. Let's see if we can dabble this in. Whew, these sandflies are biting me. That's no fun. Beautiful. That's exactly what I want it to look like. It's a slightly lighter green, and so it just flicks over the surface so beautifully, just to illuminate these trees just a wee bit. It's a pity that the actual trees I want to draw here aren't actually in the nature around me, so we're shooting completely from the hip, which honestly, kind of fun. We started it maybe, when did we start this one? I think we started this one about, it's taken about 2.5 hours, but I did the first little part in private. Did it just nice and discreetly. And the goal was just to see if I could make a little image that I had in my head come to life. It was on the driveway of the house I grew up in, And my father cut down some trees on the driveway because there were some gums behind them that weren't getting enough sunlight. So he cut down these trees and it left these exposed kind of wiry branches coming up, which you can see here now. And then the gums, which are a little bit further down the bank, could suddenly get the light they needed from the sun to really start growing. And since then, they've started growing big time. And so this picture, the idea behind it, I've used the name Through the Gums, but ironically, it's probably better said through to the gums. The man who bakes, first off, an honour to have you back in here, Mr. Man Who Bakes. We're painting a landscape. Love it, keep up the great work. Thanks, Michael R. Johnson, appreciate you. Appreciate you being here, and hello, LJ. Welcome on in. LJ, I was just saying, we're doing a big, funky, giant landscape. Loaded with texture. I think this is good. We're lightening it up in all the ways we want to be. Just needs a bit more zing in it, you know? A bit more character. It's so earthy, so cold. I want more ingredient. I want a bit more of that powerful zing. And I want some more texture in it too, so when you come up close to it, you're like, wow, that's chaotic. We want that chaos. It's such a valuable asset to what we want here. Beautiful. Zing, zing, submarine. Choo choo helicopter. There we go. Gorgeous. Let's dive into some of this Naples, see where this takes us. A bit more over in here. There we go. That's exactly where I want it. Chewing around these edges. I'm lucky I brought out so much white. This painting's been needing it. Who's that there? Marlon. Susie, you love the colours. That's fantastic. Glad to hear it. Another scenic nature piece? Yeah, Newly. Indeed. Just woke up. This is so relaxing. I can just go back to sleep. Well, it depends. Are you supposed to be doing something? Did you wake up to an alarm? Because if so, I'll go inside and I'll grab some pots and pans and I'll start banging them together as loud as I can. So that way the life's less relaxing for you, to help you get on with those things in your day that you set for yourself yesterday. If you've got nothing scheduled, then I most certainly won't do that. That'll be very, very rude. There we are. Bing, bing, the submarine. Choo choo helicopter. Doo 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 doo. Way down the slide. Any new parents will be very, very familiar with that song. I hear the birdies. Yeah. They're like, hey, what's that fella doing there? We normally have this little spot all to ourselves. Here we go. Gorgeous. Ding ding, the submarine. Choo choo helicopter. Sorry, guys. Kid songs. Very, very addictive songs. I can see why they relax babies. They're relaxing me right now. Okay, perfect. We'll pause that one for now. It's in a very, very fun spot. I'm going to spin this around to face you and let me, since we've got a bit more light, fetch another little piece that's Might catch my eye. Here we go. So this one here, it's supposed to just be crazy nature, guys. That's all we're trying to capture here. It got started maybe a week ago, and now we're on the second or third layer. It's had about 3 to 4 hours. So it's a funky piece. Anyway, I'll be back soon. And who's that there? Kirby and Shiny and Mafia. Thanks, guys. I really appreciate that. Now, I'm going to come back. 1 second, Tim. Sorry for running away, guys. We got a little bit of a changeover to do here. Oh, oh no. Oh no, did you see that? Got paint on the side of my head now. Yeah, look at that. Yum. It's exactly where I want it. Thank you, Seb's clumsiness. Great day to be alive. All right, up we go. Got a soft spot for this one, you guys know that. We're gonna get back that small brush again and dabble around in those small areas. Here we are. Lovely. That's what I want. That's what I need. That's what we've got. There we go. Let's slip you guys in there. And Senti, hello from California. Just grey hair. No, it should be, you can kind of see a little bit in there. It's a disaster, guys. It's an absolute disaster. How embarrassing. Now, I'm currently looking. There they are. Looking all over the show for these. And we've found them. So that's a win. Righty tighty. Mr. Mighty. No, it's the trick of the light, Steve. But if I get lucky enough to have a head full of grey hairs, we'll be nothing but happy, guys. I say that now. We'll see. We'll see if I own it and let my hair go grey, or whether I try and like hide it, and occasionally on streams it gets slightly greyer, and then it goes back to being like a deep brown, and then back to being grey again. And you'll be like, wait, continuity? And then when you bring it up during the stream, I like get super cagey about it and answer in really weird ways. No, I think, unfortunately, I say unfortunately, it's just the case. The case of my existence is gonna be, it's in my blood, that at the age of about 35 at the latest, my hairline's just gonna start going on back. And although we love a good head of hair, it's just gonna all fade away over the period of about 5 years. It'll all be gone. I won't be entering my 40s with any hair on the head of my head, top of my head, because that was the case for all the men on my father's side and my mother's side. So it hasn't started yet, but one day I'll look in the mirror and be like, it's begun. All right. Ding, ding, a submarine, doo doo, helicopter. Oh dear, I need to get the happy song out of my head. I might actually hold fire for a second, team. This one's quite subtle, and this brush is quite small. So can I bring you up a bit closer? Just move that out of the way there. There we go. How do you feel? This would be the perfect spot for you. So I'm working with the ultramarine blue, and the overall picture's there, but now we're adding in tiny little smaller details, little dabs, little strokes. See how it goes. Might even go across into a bit of amarillo, so I can get verde, green. That's what we're after. Just so the water can actually have these overarching colours, but actually on more of a close-up level, there's a lot more action happening on the surface. A lot more little dabs and dots playing big roles in the overall picture. That's the plan. But most importantly, we've got to enjoy ourselves. Those reflections need to be quite loose and freeing. If they're tense, or if you try and constrain the process too much, you don't get good reflections. They get too constrained. It's kind of like trying to say exactly what water's doing, and then the next moment it's changed. I guess reflections are kind of like quantum physics. The moment you look at it and interpret it, it's already different. painting reflections is no different. If you try and make sense of it too much, the actual purpose or the subject inside the reflection or the colours will completely elude you. Jeepers creepers, guys, my hair's absolutely wild, and I 100% need a shower after this. That is just, for those who missed it, a painting leant forward a little bit and got me right on the face. So that needs addressing. It's a bit of a problem. What made me decide to be an artist? I was pretty happy, actually. I was working for a family restaurant chain and enjoying myself. And what happened was, during the COVID lockdowns in New Zealand, one after another, I felt people getting more and more isolated and numb. And I thought to myself, I can't let this happen to my own family. I'm going to go live and actually share the painting. And I did it on Reddit and Facebook and things first. Initially, just the family. But then the stream was live and more people started to join in, more and more people. Until, fast forward 3 years, there's a whole community here. One thing I made a bit of a, when I first started it, it was solely because I felt like I needed a bit of creativity in my life. I needed some self-expression. But to actually put live was because I felt like too many people were too numb. And that philosophy hasn't really changed, guys. I still feel like that's the case. Is there a bit on my shirt too, is there? Un desastre. It's all right. We'll have a bit of a clean up after this. And I think the biggest thing was not just making that decision, but while I was painting, when people would message me and say, hey, I struggle with this, suffer from this, have this, do this. And the streams, they haven't fixed the problem, but they really, really help. So thank you. And that's when I started to realize, actually, this is a little bit bigger than me. And that art's great. Sure, art's great. But what's more important is the way you can make people feel. Community. That's what matters most. Is it art if you made it and no one saw it? Well, it's not about the showmanship of it, but honestly, I don't believe it is. Because fundamentally, art is feelings and connection. And so you have to have that instilled into it. And without a person to see it, without someone else to be a part of it, it's hard to get that connection. Thanks, Laura. I appreciate you being here. It's a really nice thing to say. Whew. Bit of hay fever lingering around at the moment. It's got up my nostrils, made it a little bit tougher. There we go. ¿Hablas español, señor? Chacha? Lo siento, yo no hablo español. Poquito. I can say, sí, hablo español. Yeah. No, I know a little bit from Duolingo. We always joke about one particular line, which is Los pingüinos duermen acerca lagartos. Excuse my sniff. Thanks, Steve. Ah, it's poquito Italian, is it? Okay. So what's the word for small? in Spanish. What do they teach in New Zealand as a second language? All right. Excuse my sniffling, guys. I've got a little bit of hay fever. Okay, so in New Zealand, there's 3 recognised languages. There's English, there's Te Reo Māori, so that's the indigenous population's language, and there is sign language, New Zealand Sign Language. So those are the 3. Aside from those 3, the most common ones in schools would be most likely Spanish and French would be my guess, but I don't have a stat on that. Is that Pekino? Pekino? Pekino. To all those who speak Spanish, I'll look it up after this so I don't get it wrong next time. There we go. Beautiful. Just dabbling over the top. Perfect, perfect, perfect. And LJ. Just touching base, LJ. How are you doing? Half asleep. I could have been totally wrong. Haha. Let me see. What are we totally wrong about? Oh, about the... Yep, fair enough. Look, I appreciate that you're half asleep but still hanging out here. How do you know what colour combinations to use? There's a couple of ways you can do it. You can either know a whole lot about colour, or you can find colours you like and then restrict your art just to those tubes, so you only bring them out. That's a good way to sort of control the overall palette. But honestly, I'm going to give you an answer that's a little bit weird. Get romantic about it and get weird about it. If you get romantic and weird about your colours, it won't matter that 2 colours aren't supposed to be paired together. It'll look right, provided it feels right. And when you're like, well, that's weird and cryptic, how do I do that? There's a great book, and it's called The Secret Lives of Colour. And if you think this stream puts you to sleep, this book will do just that as well, in the best of ways. So The Secret Lives of Colour is a book just about the pigments, what they meant to different people around the world, and how they effectively came into existence for humanity. Obviously that existed before humanity, but humanity's discovery of these pigments and then what we subsequently used them for. We had a great range of uses for them, and it's amazing hearing each individual pigment story, because they all came from quite eclectic, wild, unique backgrounds, and it's quite fun to learn about. Maybe it's just me, but I found that that really changed my palette in quite unconventional ways, because typically we'd fall in love with, you know, I like complementary colours and I like blue, but the why factor can sit behind it when you fall in love with the story of a colour. You know, whether it's because it's the colour of denim, which was jokingly called the colour of democracy, whether it's a shade of pink because the Queen popularised it, whether it's a shade of yellow because of what the French modernists were doing with Naples. There's a whole range of reasons, a whole range of really fun reasons that we can attribute to why you fall in love with certain colours. And if you can follow that, if you can read that book, you'll find your own reasons to create your own palettes. Now, this is not oil, and this is not conventional acrylics. It's something different altogether, and you'll kind of notice it. It's suspicious because the pigment load seems quite high, except the way I'm using it. It flows like acrylics, but the pigment load's high like oils. So what's happening here? Well, it's actually a matte paint. So instead of being glossy and shiny, pardon me, it's far more flat. This is acrylic gouache, and it's quite new off the shelves. And like I say, I promise myself that I'm always going to use new things when they come out, so I can keep my eye on the game, on the ball, to figure out what's happening. And honestly, out of all the things I've tried, water-based oils, new watercolors, new acrylics, new walnut oils, all these things, this is probably the best. This is a very, very unique kind of paint. It's very, very heavy in pigmentation. And I haven't had enough time to actually fully examine it, but every time I use it over these last 5 days, I've just fallen in love with it more and more and more. So it's exciting. No, Seb with 2 Bs, do not do that. If you eat paint, you are putting your health at risk. Every single paint, including this one, must be used in a well-ventilated area. Yes, I do agree, gouache is much safer than maybe other kinds of paint, but that's no exception to actually relax your safety standards. You've got to make sure that you're safe. That's super important. Bye, Seb. Thanks for sharing. See you next time. See you, Shiny Kepler. Am I saying that right? Capella, sorry. Shiny Capella. Until next time. Look after yourself. But I actually had a cup of coffee the other day, and I ruined it. It was this morning, actually. No, yesterday. And I put my brush in it, and even though it was the tiniest bit of paint, you've got to be careful for things like heavy metals, that you don't actually make the mistake of eating them. Because it's one thing to smell the fumes, it's another thing to consume the paint orally. That's going to have a very different and sometimes more powerful impact. Best left completely avoided. Beautiful. Absolutely stunning. Cheers, Ryan. I appreciate you. But it's also a bit of a chill live too, guys, because I'm not sure what it is about this evening. Maybe the fact that it's trying to rain, but it hasn't, or that we're just dabbling around with a few fun paintings. But I don't know. I'm liking the pauses. Zach, we're currently in the Tauranga Bay of Plenty, which is a place in New Zealand, Southern Hemisphere. So if you tell me where you are, I can almost assume that it's south of your current position. I think that's a fair guess. Let me just get these other sides here. There we go. Just going to frame these a disproportionate amount up on this edge here. Bling bling, submarine, choo choo helicopter. I wonder if I get a little bit naughty. Just in there like that, and just a little bit of a reflection of those cut lines I just made. Ever so subtly. Gorgeous. Perfect. Now we're going to get a bit boring. Let's get a bit boring. This is going to be the grey. But if we have fun with the greys, we'll leap over into black. We'll see how we go. The sneak you over just to there. Cheers, Santi. Now, I'm also sorry about the lighting, guys, because although it's calm and I love it, it's a little bit darker for you guys. So, and that's just sheer because of the amount of clouds that are out. And so that little bit of evening sun that I was hoping for, and we could still get, is kind of tucked away just a wee little bit. And so, well, we're outside at the right time. It's beautiful and still, the birds were chirping, and the sun is diffusing the light perfectly on that lower angle. Unfortunately, we missed out on perfect light tonight. But that makes it all the more special when the actual light is hitting exactly like we want it to. Get this up in here. Let's grab just a little bit of black. Just a teeny tiny little bit. There we go. Perfect. We'll pause there on this one. That's coming along very, very fun. In fact, we're going to add, hold on. Let me add a bit of turquoise to the sky. Hey, Miss Honey, welcome on in. And I'm fascinated with the combination of your clothing with the natural landscape. Yeah, well, the shirt, I've actually bought the shirt and the pants myself, so I'm pretty chuffed about that. You won't normally get that from me. The shirt's from Mountain Warehouse, which is a knockoff store similar to like a low quality Kathmandu or Macpac. And the pants are actually Kathmandu because they were having a Black Friday sale. And that leads us to here. There we go. Lovely. So this is just that beautiful, beautiful there we are. Lovely. Ellie, chuck me a follow. That's fair enough. Hold on, give me a second. Almost there, Ellie, hang on. You ready? You ready? You get one chance, catch. No, but I won't be mean. Where are you, Ellie? There you go. Just because that could have come across rude. For those who are wondering if I just completely rude there, I did follow Ellie, just FYI. But that was, I've got extra plates and it felt like a good opportunity. Bling bling, a submarine, choo choo helicopter. Doom 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 doom. Let's out a raw. Sorry guys, I got kid songs stuck in my head. Been playing them for dudums. Here we go. Doom 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 doom. Yo doom 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 doom. And we'll pause there. That's been very fun. Ooh, jeepers. Got some paint to wash off a tile there. All right, guys. Thanks for joining for this little session. 1 p.m. Lois, I'm going to let you grab some sleep. Thanks for joining on in, and I will see you probably tomorrow morning if it's not raining here and you're around. Anyway, guys, thanks, Ryan. Cheers, Jay, and good to see you again, Steve, Miss Honey, all of you. Look after yourselves, guys. Catch ya.